Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm just showcasing some solo gameplay. This is back when I was level 59. I was on the quest Sky Song's End. I had killed all the people I needed to. I just came down to the last two elite guys that I needed to kill. I think this is definitely designed for some type of group gameplay. However, I spent the entire time leveling solo until the last little bit. I just needed, I wanted to get it done a little bit faster, so I ran portals with people. So this is my kill on both of these guys. I'm keeping it deafened, so you can't like hear any of the stuff I said because it wasn't exactly all the best things. But yeah, these are two level 60 elites. You can tell they're elite because of the gold trim underneath their names, and you can tell what grade of elite they are as well by how many bars off to the left and right of their level they have. So these are technically normal, but they're still very difficult. Like I would rate them a 3 bar or 6 bar if you wanted to count on both sides. So yeah, we're just gonna like go through a bit of this. I am rocking the two-handed axe and sword and board for this. I had never fought these guys before, except for one of them, and I will. Okay, this guy right here, this type of enemy, I have fought a couple of times before. You'll see him come up in your like I think 40s and some of the early 50s stuff. However, the person on the right, I had never fought before, so I don't know their move set. Um, so my basic strategy for when I have to deal with very difficult enemies or large groups of enemies due to like high respawn rates, it often makes them very difficult to deal with. So my strategy is to isolate and then target. So I want to be able to get either of these two apart enough to where I'm not really cleaving them and I can focus damage on a single target, and then and that's where the isolation targeting comes in. So I want them apart from one another to reduce them hitting me with some level of combo move, which you'll see a little bit later on, and then targeting whoever's the lowest, or in this case, the person that I would deem the greatest threat. So let's continue playing here. So at this part, I'm really just trying to figure out what the move sets are, and because I don't know hers, I am getting punished quite a bit for it, and I'm taking huge damage. Um, I went for this person in particular because I didn't know the move set, and um, because I know the other ones, I know how to kill the other one a little bit better than I know how to kill her. So I targeted her first, and so this is just kind of like an information phase as well as trying to put up as much damage as I could where I could. So I'm still watching and learning, and I'm trying to manage the second guy in the back to where um, any of his attacks get telegraphed to me, or I have enough time to see them and react to them. So I'm going to try and face myself towards the guy in the back, and I'm not forgetting about him. I want to make sure that he's not doing anything crazy, and I'm able to manage his attacks as well as hers at the same time, so I'm not getting broadsided by anything. And right there, you'll probably just notice that that was a pretty solid combo move by the two of them. And it's a part of what makes this fight so difficult. Going in not knowing in particular, you'll notice that she sets up an attack right here, and this pink dragon is something you can't really avoid as a melee, as she just kind of spontaneously does this without any real vocal warnings or anything. As she's doing the move, she makes a vocal like annotation for what's going on. But as I don't know what any of the vocal callouts for her are, I had to just kind of eat it, just basically face tanking. But this is a frontal cone that she's setting up currently. The pink dragon is to knock you back and slow you down to keep you in that frontal cone. And then right there, sorry, let me back this up a little bit. So she's setting up for the frontal cone, and our friend in the back over here, he's putting down corruption mines, and these are basically like proximity mines. The closer you are to them, the more likely they are to blow up. You'll have noticed this in the depths dungeon or expedition. One of the bosses does this, and this ad over here does this as well. And so they set me up into a really solid combo that I was really not happy about, which is a big reason why I muted the audio. So again, just focusing damage on her, trying to make sure I can start to read her mechanics more and mitigate damage from the second person. The bombs throughout all of this, I didn't really come up with a good strategy to deal with outside of just not being close to them. I could probably get in close to take out one of them, but I would get hit by the other. So the best thing for me to do is basically just stay away from them or have enough health and hope I can eat them. Again, she sets up for another frontal cone here, and I'm still trying to keep the guy in the back, as well as facing me in a way. I'm not trying to turn my back to him. And then there's another combo setup that was slightly mistimed by the two of them, and I was able to get out of. You'll also notice, I am getting a lot of healing through Sword and Board as well as my axe, and I would usually try to play this as safe as I possibly can, because I don't set up tents all that often, and that right there was actually super, super close. You can see it going all the way down to about 200 health right there, which is kind of nuts. And the running and jumping is actually a really terrible idea. This took me a little bit of time to kind of work out and experience, but if you're running and jumping away from stuff, in this situation, I was kind of just in panic and like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. So I was like running and jumping, and when you do that, you're not able to use any of your pots or food or swap weapons and do all that kind of fun stuff. So it's best to just keep your feet on the ground while you play the game. So I get a really clutch pot up, and my F ability is back up. Something that I think I do during this clip is I activate this ability, and then I swap to my axe immediately, and it just gives me like a little over 1,000 health. And unless I really need like the extra defensive capabilities, that's usually what I'll do, because I am going to get the most amount of health back through my axe, and I'll go over this in another video. But the axe, whenever I crit, I get health, and whenever I use my Q ability, I generally get health, depending on how many enemies are there. So set me up into another knockback, and this is a bit of a panic mode. Something you'll really start to take notice when you play this game is that the body blocking can be an absolute nightmare. And so this is something that actually had me genuinely worried a second time, was because if I get backed into this wall and I can't move, or if I get shuffled over into this corner, being able to move at this point becomes almost impossible. And at that point, it's basically game over. I die, they'll slam me with enough moves and enough knockback from those moves to where I'll die. And so the best option is to opt for using my R to get out of there and run. Because even though they can cast spells, being able to have distance away from both of them kind of will reset the fight in a way. And that's basically what I'm doing here, is just trying to reset the fight and get as much health back as I can. There I get very lucky with taking out one of the bombs and get the kill on the first enemy I was trying to take down. Now this guy is a little bit easier compared to her. I know the moveset of these types of enemies a lot better, and I wanted to get him away. Well, hold on, we'll wind this back a little bit. So I wanted to get him away from that staircase because, and you'll see here in a sec. Okay, that platform off to our left, there are enemies that spawn over there, and while they may not be up at the moment, I don't want to chance having this guy go down in there and aggroing them as well, because they're shield enemies and it would just take more time, and it increases the difficulty quite a bit. So here I'm just really trying to close down the distance to get more damage on the guy, and I'm not entirely worried about what he's going to do. I'm more worried about where he's positioned. Sorry for the squeaks if you can hear it. It's my chair does that. Okay, so I'm going to be focusing big damage on him. He's going to try and bait me into his proximity mines. So if I can get him out, or if I can get down one of the mines, that would be best. Something else at this point that I'm really starting to think about is the respawn time on the first person I killed. I don't know how long it's going to be, and from prior experience just simply playing the game, it's probably relatively short. And so I'm focusing big damage on this guy as much as I possibly can to try and help mitigate the chance of the first person I took down respawning. If you can back an enemy into a corner, I highly recommend it. It's all right. And see, and this is exactly what I was worried about. The maiden ping is already back up, and I actually get really lucky here because I only aggro her towards the end of this fight. And so because he does so much less damage, I was able to pump like way more on this guy. And I'm actually really glad I opted for the way I did this, because if I had to fight the maiden ping once again, I would have been very upset. Or if I had to fight this guy twice while still having to fight maiden ping, I would have been very upset as well, because she had a substantial amount more health than he did. And then, I mean, you basically see it right here, and I've kind of already saw it. I get the kill on him, and that's GG. Quest is done, and I am out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. I have another video on the way. This time, in the next video, I'll be level 60. I'll have about 520 gear score, and I take down the Gate Lord named Caminus with Armored Abyssal, and he'll have Armored Abyssal and Arcana on him. But again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.